Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 6 o'clock. We'd like to go ahead and start on time. We're going to call the meeting to order. First on the agenda is to stand for all the flags here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item on the agenda is a roll call. All 5 councilors are present. And can I consider approving the minutes held for February 28th? Make a motion to approve those minutes. Motion made, second. All in favor? Next item of business agenda in here is to vote on FY 24 budget warrant. That will be last. Okay,
It's gonna be last.
what's that?
It's gonna be last.
Don't you want it to be last? Well, but we can do it now. Why not? See what else? All the, I'm sorry, Mike, I'll ask you, I was looking for Mike. Are all your budget advisory people? First, maybe you have a form.
We have a quorum, and we have some proxy voters.
Good.
So,
So if you're ready to go, I'll do it now. I didn't see you first. That's why I said we're gonna go last. Okay, that's it. So what we're gonna do is we have the budget warrant articles here. I will go down and read article. I will not read each and every article. We're all grown adults. So article number 1 is nothing to vote on. Article number 2 is we're gonna, Mike will go first on articles. Question?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, what we're gonna do is we'll vote on it here, then I'll turn it over to you. We'll volley back and forth like we've done for the last, how many years?
And if you say no to an article, I'd like to know why you say no, only because I'll be asked at town meeting why, it's 8 to 5, or whatever.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so article number 2.
I make a motion to accept article number 2 is written.
Motion is made. Do I have a second? Seconded by Dave. All in favor of article number 2? All 5 councilors vote yes. Mike, it's yours, article number 2.
Article number 2, generally, I'm gonna ask, for those that don't know, is there any discussion, questions? Not much to discuss here. All in favor? All opposed?
Article number 3.
Make a motion to accept article 3 as written.
Motion's been made. Do we have a second? Second by Bob. All in favor? Thank you. Mike, it's yours.
Article 3, is there any discussion, questions? If not, all in favor? Any opposed?
Article number 4.
Make a motion to accept article 4 as written.
Motion's made. Second by Bob. All in favor?
Article 4, any questions, comments?
Does it include the accountant,
That's Kelly question.
finance director,
finance director?
yes,
Includes that.
yes.
Any more questions? All in favor? Anybody opposed?
Does this include the third party requests, or is that different?
Different warrant.
Yes, I would.
This is just for administration, general assistance,
Okay.
assessor, and insurance.
Yes, I.
Going on to article number 5.
I recommend we accept article 5 as written.
Bob, second. All in favor? Mike, yours.
Article number 5, any questions or discussion? If there's none, all in favor? Anybody opposed?
Article 6, public library.
I move we accept article 6 as written.
Bob is second. All in favor?
Article 6. Any discussion, questions? If not, all in favor? All opposed?
Article number 7, recreation department.
I move we accept article 7 as written.
Seconded by Dave. All in favor? Mike?
Article 7, any questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Anybody opposed?
Article number 8, Fire Department.
Move we accept Article 8 as written.
Second by Bob, all in favor?
I'll abstain from this vote.
I'm just gonna ask that Dave, Dave abstains. Mike, yours.
Article number 8. Any discussion, questions? Seeing none,
I'd like to ask, the last time, or this last year, we dealt with stipends because there was extra money left in the fire department budget. Is that in fact the case? Is that what happened? Why did we have stipends?
In January, the guys are doing some extra trainings and they're becoming advanced EMTs. So Dave felt because they're advanced certificates and stuff that they
Where did that
deserve.
money come?
It's, we're not filling our per diem shifts, so it's left over.
So we have extra money
Yeah.
in the fire department month.
Correct, so we were able to do that in January
Stipends.
till June.
Yeah.
It's 25 cents. Separate, like separated out from their hourly rate, wage. So
25 cents
per hour.
per hour.
But it's in this budget starting in July, right?
No, you guys voted to approve it in January when he presented, but it's also in
In
here.
here, but starting in
It
July.
carries over to this budget,
Yes,
same thing.
yes.
And
But
I-
he did lower the per diem shift amount or the call wage or he lowered that line and put it in stipends. So you'll make,
And I noticed that Congressman Broder abstained from the last vote, but I think that none of those stipends or any of the money should be paid to town government.
he didn't receive a
Correct.
stipend.
I thought he did.
No. He did not receive an hourly stipend,
What was the fuss about that?
because he's.
We can digress, I think we just move along.
Yeah,
No, that's not true.
We're digging our policy and.
What, the point is somebody that's part of the government, running the government, collecting a check payment from the town. Are you or aren't you?
Yeah.
for rescue
But-
calls.
Yeah,
So if you're
yeah.
having a heart attack, Dave shows up at your house,
I
he's getting
understand.
$18 an hour to save you,
I understand.
a call,
What?
yeah.
What I'm
$18
saying is
call.
that I don't think that's appropriate.
Okay, well, we got a lawyer,
I'll solve the problem on that, okay? We have checked with the lawyers,
I understand.
right,
that
and the
too.
lawyer said it is legal, total legal to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Mike, back to you.
Article 8, is there any more discussion on the fire department? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed?
Mike, thank you. Moving on to Article number 9.
Move we accept Article 9 as written.
Motion made second by Bob Nutting, all in favor?
Article 9, the police department, is there any discussion? Kelly?
The rifles and the guns are in capital improvement, correct?
Yes, they are.
Thank you.
Any more discussion?
Same with the 3 cruisers and the
Correct.
police chief.
fire chief,
Police chief's car,
the fire
Fire
chief's
chief.
car.
the fire chief's car.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Any more discussion? Seeing nothing? All in favor? Anybody opposed? Mike?
Moving on to Article number 10, this is for public safety services.
I move Article 10 as written.
Motion's been made second by Mr. Nutting, all in favor?
Article 10, do we have any discussion? Question? Seeing none? All in favor? Anybody opposed? Michael?
Article number 11, animal control.
Move Article 11 as written.
Motion's been made second by Mr. Nutting, all in favor?
Article 11,
That was just me falling on the floor.
Until we're done. Article 11, is there any discussion on animal control? Seeing none, all in favor? Would anyone be opposed? Oh my God.
Moving on to article number 12, transfer station.
I move Article 12 is written.
Motion made, do we have a second? Mr. Nutting, all in favor? Mike?
Article 12, transfer station, for discussion, question, anybody? And Kelly?
This does not have the increased dump stickers or the reduction in his revenues, in his, maintenance.
Correct.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Would anyone be opposed? Michael?
Article number 13, public works.
I move we accept Article 15 is written.
Motion's been made, second by Mr. Nutting, all in favor? Mike?
Article 13. Public Works, any discussion or question? And seeing none, all in favor? Would anyone be opposed? Michael?
Article number 14, town property maintenance.
I move we accept Article 14 is written.
Motion's been made, second by Mr. Nutting, all in favor? Mike?
Article 14, property maintenance, any discussion? Again, seeing none, all in favor? Would anyone be opposed?
Article 15,
Move we accept Article 15 is written.
motion's been made, second by Mr. Groda, all in favor? Question, sorry, Mr. Kelly.
Kelly had asked earlier if anybody's gonna vote against something to have what rationale. And I guess I have a first question. Just to be, for the audience's purpose, I think I know what the answer is, but the lease purchase, 5 vehicles. Could you list those vehicles?
Property maintenance van, to carry his tools around. 3 police cruisers and 1 fire chief, car. Carry his equipment.
And as a lease purchase, that's 60,000 this year, how many years is that for?
Depending on interest rates, I'm hoping to get it for 3 years. Because we're gonna carry over 45,000 from this year, so we'll have 105 to put on it next year. Then we're gonna use the sale of the guns, our current guns and rifles. When we replace those, we're gonna take that money and put it back into this capital equipment line for that lease payment and carry that forward for the payment for next year. And we'll have to add. The payment's gonna be about 60 to 70,000 a year.
Right, so we can project that for the
Yeah.
next 4 years, we'll have a line of roughly 60,000, give or take a little bit, to pay off.
I'm hoping for 3, but it can be done.
And I guess my comment is, I guess I'm not in favor of leasing things in general, and it may be a good deal.
We'll
because-
own everything after 3 years.
Exactly, but after 3 or 4 years, we're gonna need to start replacing things again. And we'll be placed with, do we have to replace all 3 of the police cars? Who knows? We don't like the ones we have now because the maintenance is a big issue. Are we gonna like these better? Well, when we were told that those are the best on the market, we jumped at water, and now they're not the best on the market. So all these things are subject to what happens in the next 3 or 4 years. But I think this came in late. I think it was not part of the original preparation of the budget. And it was something that sounds, maybe it's a great deal, I don't know. We don't know until we do it. And we gamble on doing it and say, well, it really didn't pay off as well as it should have. Or do we go back to where we bought a vehicle a year, we replaced the vehicle a year, and we, the whole article about rifles, I don't know if we need 11 tactical rifles. Because they're better or lighter, I don't know. But it came in past the original request by departments. And I don't feel comfortable when we have all this work that goes into it, then all of a sudden, in the last couple of weeks, things get changed.
Well, we presented the lease purchase on the first night with 4
But
cruisers.
it wasn't part of their original budget.
Yes, it was.
Their original budget that they presented had 3 vehicles.
When I
And
presented the
right
capital
now-
improvement budget the first night, it had 4 police vehicles.
But when the budgets came in on December first, whatever that date was when they were doing the office, we're all those things.
Wasn't December 1st.
Whatever day you have it, they have to get your budgets.
Okay.
I think this is something that happened after. And it may be great, but I just don't feel comfortable.
Is CIP done at the same time the regular budget's done?
Say that again.
Is the CIP budget done at the same time the regular budget?
Yes. We did change, okay, so we presented it with 4 cruisers, a van, a chief vehicle. And then I think 3 days later, when we did the lieutenant interviews for the police department, it was brought, we had a big discussion about school safety and the shields and Uvalde, and if they had had shields, maybe they would have gone in, and it just kind of hit home, and I don't want to not be prepared.
Well,
We've had issues.
It's a sensitive topic, but not being prepared. Brunswick is considering buying a $400,000 armored vehicle.
We don't want
In
that.
case they have a shooting. Well, we didn't have shields and tactical rifles and all that either. I just think
So
these are things that,
We decreased a car, so we went to 3. We actually have 3 police cruisers are in the shop right now. So we have 1 on the road.
So with that being said, just to clarify that, folks, the cruises were on the first part of the budget. We had, and chief, if I'm misspeaking, please stand and yell.
The
We had
budget-
an interview with the chief, Kelly and I were on an interview for lieutenants. He hired 2 lieutenants. We do not have a deputy chief, we have lieutenants. So one of the officers came in and we got talking about what we'd like to see for public safety, for our officers, for officer safety. And we got talking about it, and of course, and I hope I don't offend anybody in here. Recently, we had 18 people killed in Lewiston. I'll guarantee you, no one in Lewiston, none of the police officers ever went there that night and expected that there's gonna be 18 people killed. No more than Brunswick. And Brunswick can spend whatever, we're Oakland, okay? So we're looking at this and thinking, one of the lieutenants, who is heavily trained in tactical stuff, he's 26 years in the Air Force, has done 3 different tours overseas, and has gone to war for us 3 different times. And so he was saying that we are not prepared in our schools for shootings. And then he starts listing off. He says, if we go in with ARs or whatever, and we start pulling off rounds in schools, the first round he'll hear, but he will not hear any other rounds coming from anybody else in the school. You won't hear where the perpetrator is coming from. If I'm misspeaking again, Chief, yeah. And he said, now when that perpetrator is in there shooting whomever, you won't hear it because you're gonna be tone deaf. Because what happened is you're pulling off rounds inside a school. This is what he does for a living, okay? So he said, the weapons we have are antiquated, probably the same weapon that I used when I was in the police department back in 1986, 1987. The handguns, in reference to the handguns, some people's hands are smaller. The 45 is a heavy weapon. He showed everyone that heavy weapon that night. Said that the 9 mils are a little bit lighter. They can carry, the projectiles they're shooting are now more advanced now. And your people who have small hands, unlike myself, can wrap the hands around and handle the weapon very well. In reference to the shields, he talked about the shooting at Uvalde, yeah, and that none of the officers will go in. Well, me being a police officer, I never woke up and said, geez, wife, tonight I'm not coming home because I'm going in first. I'll take the bullet. No one wants to take the bullet, okay? But yes, we are here to serve and protect as police officers, but no one wants to take a bullet. So we started talking about getting shields. And some of you might not have known this, but because whereas juveniles are involved, a lot of this information can't be set out. That the school resource officer, thank God for our school resource officers, were there, and that we have stopped 2 in-school shootings. That's scary. That's scary. And as we know, there are more and more drugs and more guns out here nowadays. So, me personally, I'm glad for Lieutenant Cowan when he came in and talked to us, told us about that. And if anyone has any questions, you can raise to Lieutenant Cowan, just walked in the room in the back. And he could tell you, sorry, Chris, I throw you right on the mat like that, but no, we're just talking about when you came in and gave us, you're giving us a briefing that night and, why we thought that this would be the time we ought because it's not, God, I hope it never happens. Just like Lewiston, they thought, hope it would never happen. But when a shooting happens, you want to be prepared. And if we're not prepared, you're gonna lose children and you're gonna lose police officers.
And the amount of money never changed. It's always been $60,000 in the budget for all of this. What we purchase, what we want to purchase has changed. We went from 4 vehicles to 3 and added the rifles and the shields for the police station.
Hopefully I answered any questions. And it was really serious. Chris is right there. He'd be more than happy to answer.
How many policemen are
11, sir.
there?
So 11
How big
full-time
is the
direct-
force?
But
10 right now.
10, I'm sorry. We're waiting for one more.
Oh, we're gonna hire.
Yeah.
We're gonna hire an officer to use the extra guy.
Well, there's one missing because Chief's left.
I have to agree with Don. This seemed to come late in my opinion, but I'm not privy to a lot of the meetings that you guys have told, but, I thought this was a really late, a late entry into this process. And, I just, it appears to me, Tommy, I'm not the guy that's been overseas 3 times and put the people in the eye. But it seems to me that the shields are really a very vital part of protecting our people and making them able to get to where they need to go. And I just wonder why we need to do, I guess we could do it all at once and it's done. But, I would suspect that 3 years from now, there's gonna be something else that's going to be even better. So to break that up doesn't sound like a bad idea in terms of cutting back on what this package that I was just looking for it here, that we handed out with,
We were
it was
We were
even
able to make
color
cuts
and I
last night.
put it somewhere else, geez. But anyhow, I agree with Don that it was really late and it seems to me it's almost overkill. And I certainly don't want to have anything to do with putting anybody in jeopardy. But it appears to me that this is a bit overkill and it wasn't thought out a whole lot about you guys because it was very late in the budget process. I know you said it was early, but I wasn't here.
So again, I'll go back. It was held on February 18th was the interview process. And with that being said, on the 18th, this was brought to our attention.
That's a month.
And so with that, yes, it was late and I give you that. But at the same time, we said, look, let's cut a car and let's take care of our police officers.
And I didn't realize it.
There was
going to ask about the cars also. To buy 3, that puts us in a situation where however long they last, 3 years, we're gonna need 3 more, where as opposed to buying them in sequence so that we don't have to be buying, I forget, I added up, I think they're almost $70,000 a piece with all the stuff.
So let's back up on the cars just a little bit. Sorry, I wasn't playing my phone. I had to turn it up so I could hear you. Back up on the cars just a bit. A year ago, we had 2 electric cars that were given to us, but given to us. The Old Town manager said this would be a great idea. And we were supposed to buy these, if I'm wrong on my date, I think it was April 17th or 15th.
Yeah.
They're electric cars.
Yeah, I know that. I know
And
they
so
weren't very,
They're not going to work.
they didn't appear to be police cars anyhow.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, I know we said
Right,
that.
and they're not gonna work. So now we're down 2 cars. And then we have, like I said, we have 3 cars in the shop right now trying to find parts. And I'll tell you right now, finding parts right now for most any car.
What is a fleet normal? What would you have it?
Chief?
Right.
Fleet number, so yeah,
Yeah, how
What
many
would you have in a
cars?
fleet for a normal number, sir?
per patrol, 4. Yeah, 4 in our patrol. Sleep
Two
out in the
SROs.
Garage, they have 1 on the road, and I can't use it to go out. Not on patrol.
And we're
Go on,
getting
I'm
rid of
sorry.
4 and
My
adding 3.
No,
So you have 4 cars that are no good, essentially.
3 in the shop.
Yeah.
And then Pete Tibbetts.
the one that's on the road is the Dodge, and to address what Don said earlier, we do have experience with the Dodges, and it's not in the shop very often. That's what we're looking to buy are Dodges. Correct. If we had good luck with Dodge, right, we got.
And
The ones that are in the
3
shop
other
are
cars
Fords.
that are not Dodges, is that what it is?
Dawn, I'm
So
sorry.
I did want to correct part of my discussion. They were in the original budget. Well, they weren't. There was an amount of money in the original budget that was presented. And it says
February 8th. Second.
vehicle fleet program, $60,000. But there was no real written emphasis of what that was for.
Right, we did it at the discussion.
Right, but it wasn't in the original. So these things we have, and I'm not against these things necessarily individually, but we've added 2 vehicles. Well, the vehicle fleet program originally had $60,000. And now we're getting 5 vehicles, 3 shields, and 11 rifles for $60,000. The police, the fire chief's car, and the maintenance property vehicle, I don't think were considered when the original budget came in. And that's why it just seemed to be moving parts, which I just wasn't comfortable. They may be perfectly necessary things. I think they should have been processed differently. And I don't know how the $60,000 we now have is going to cover 5 vehicles when the original was just getting whatever it was, 4 police.
So, actually, you have $60,000 to cover $350,000. That right? The lease purchase is for $60,000, right?
Yes.
And the total was $350,000. That sounds like more than $60,000 a year payment to me.
We're carrying forward 45,000 from this year to make it 105. Then we're going to be paying 105,000 on the first payment.
So this isn't 60,000, this is 105,000,
But we're only asking for 60 in this budget. Then we're gonna sell the guns, the old guns. We'll get how much, maybe 10, 15,000? And we're gonna put that money in the capital budget for next year's lease payment for 26.
But we're only budgeting 60,000 for the 350,000, right?
Right.
That depends on whether or not you can sell them and what other things have to be discussed, right? As far as where the money's gonna come from, right? And I also wanted to ask David, what is wrong with the car that he has right now?
Dave Hoffman,
Car.
he's not here, right? He has a
I know what he has.
2016 police cruiser. And his gear doesn't fit in it, so if there's a fire, then he's gotta go. He's gotta come back and get the rest of his
You're saying
gear.
one of the,
What kind of
this
gear?
Tahoe or Yukon has a lot more room
Yes,
to haul stuff than one of the police.
I don't know what he had, Tony, Anthony, what does he have in there? Antonio, sorry.
So he has his personal protective equipment and he also has a whole mess of, he has a bunch of communication equipment and, command center in there. And right now, it's all still in the back seat, so he's carrying, his PPE in the back seat. The command center that he has that helps keep track of the company for everybody. And large operations, they've all happened at different places. So just having to move everything, it's just not large enough. The Tahoe, I think, is what we're going for, it's a lot more complicated, more laid out, a lot more conditional.
So in that vehicle, if I may speak up, is gonna be a 10-year vehicle, not a 3 to 5 year vehicle. Because it's not a cruiser.
How old is the vehicle is using now?
I don't know.
To 2016.
Oh, 16.
Over 100,000 miles. It's tired and it's go.
And I have 100,000 miles.
Wasn't your car with the police cruiser before it started?
Yeah.
You have to vote? Yeah. Motion's been made. Bob, you have a question?
I do. Well, I have a statement. I really don't know what the heartburn is around something which we describe as coming in late. Because this budget starts at the beginning of the year and departments come forward with a budget. Town manager looks at the budget, puts it together, discusses it with the council. It takes place in a series of 3 or 4 meetings, including the budget advisory committee. And all along the way, we're able to make changes or not, or like things or not like things. And if we weren't going to allow something to happen as late as tonight even, then as soon as the budget was originally proposed by the department heads, we wouldn't bother to meet anymore. That's why we all meet, I think. And the fact that something was discovered in late February that wasn't in the thinking process in January, I think that's the way it's supposed to work. So I'm not the least bit troubled about when something came in. If you want to change something tonight, the council can change something tonight. The budget advisory committee can not like something we like, or like it, or suggest something else. But I'm not troubled by the timing of the changes to the budget, because that's normal.
I feel it's a working document up until tonight.
Don?
I guess I'm not troubled by the timing, I'm troubled by the inability or the fact that it was handled very quickly and there wasn't a lot of time for much discussion by anybody. That's what bothered, not, yes. Okay, so I wanna cut all of that out. I know I can propose that tonight, but that's not what I wanna do. That's not the point. The point is we come here to change or look at the budget and see if that's what we wanna do. This particular thing has been, there's a real conflict. I want to make sure that our town is safe. I want to prepare everybody for what they need to be prepared for. This proposal here, I was here for the presentation, sounded good. I just don't know that that's the way it should have been handled, and whether or not there's other ways of doing it. And like I say, if I was looking at something, I think the shields sound like, just from an uninformed person, the shields sound a lot more important than having another gun, which they already have guns. That's my personal opinion.
Mr. Nutty?
And I don't dismiss your thoughts or your questions about that, and I don't believe for a second that you want to cut all this out to the exclusion. I think the way we're doing it this time, instead of buying a cruiser a year for the next 3 years, we're buying 3 cruisers now and paying for them over the next 3 years. That's a lease purchase thing, which I've used them for some things. Maybe other people in this room have used them.
It's not just
It's a different way of doing it, but I don't think it's wrong. I think if I thought it was wrong, I'd say so. It's a different way that we've not tried before. And I think it's worth trying. If we get 3 years out and whoever's on the council says, well, that wasn't the right thing to do, we'll fix it. But I think it's worth a try. Okay, all I'm saying though.
Mike Crosby?
You can always voice your opinion, vote against it. And then at town meeting in May, you can present your case and
Absolutely, I know the process, I'm just saying that I agree with Don that it came late, and it also came, with, with, with what seems to be a questionable way of approaching, and I'm not talking about the cruisers so much as the guns and shields.
I agree with Don as well. I think this was brought to us with little information to process in a short period of time. When I received my book, it had just simply the statement, lease purchase to be discussed at February 8th meeting or whatever the date was. Pick my materials up in January, and then we're presented with this plan to purchase all these vehicles, and then it was to purchase all of these guns, and then it just was a lot to take in a short period of time. And I completely understand the Budget Advisory Committee has no clout whatsoever in any of this process. It's a done deal. Everybody knows that. But I think it was handled inappropriately as far as giving us the time to process information and gather information so that we could better understand the need and the process for it, other than somebody standing in front of us just saying, we want, we need, this is what will happen, as opposed to giving us time to process it and research information and get information to verify, yes, that's logical, we should do that. So I agree with Don. I think the timing was completely off, as much of the budget had problems that way.
So did you?
I do, and I just want to address it in a different manner. So when my children were in school, when we were in Colorado, and Columbine happened, I happened to be at the park right next to the high school at the time that happened. And I can tell you, in that instance, in every single instance, the people that go in there with very evil intentions have the best weaponry they can get to do very terrible things. And if our police staff doesn't have the best, most powerful things to protect our children, then shame on us. That's all I have to say.
I didn't say it wasn't necessary. I just said the process was inappropriate.
Well, I feel like we've had 5 different meetings to discuss, and some of the discussions, some of these questions are coming up very last minute, where I think, I don't disagree that you have every right to talk about them, but the gentleman next to me, I haven't heard him speak up at these other meetings, and so I guess I'm wondering why this hasn't gone through the discussion, because I do believe that we're here meeting to change or to discuss why things happen, because everybody here wants to do the right thing for the town. Absolutely. But to say that it's a done deal, Kelly, I don't kind of believe, I think you're wrong that we don't have some pull, because we do. You have a lot of input, and you ask a lot of reasonable questions, and you can answer to them. But so I just think that, yes, information is gonna come up when information comes up. There's never a perfect time for a tragedy.
Thank you. Mr. Nutting?
Good.
I can only say the gentleman next to her, did not say much about this in the beginning. I wasn't very impressed with what was going on, but I asked around and thought about it some, and that's why I'm speaking about it now. So, if it's too late to do it, I'm sorry, but I'm not completely opposed to it all. Having a little more time would have helped, but it would also be a little bit better coverage as far as the page is.
To sort of help with the explanation, we have made changes. Belly has changed from the original request. We originally had 11 shields in the proposal, I believe, so that there was a shield for everyone.
No, it's been 3.
So it's been
One for each arm.
because there are not school resource officers to have. Does it make sense for the school resource officers to have the better rifles? They're the ones who are gonna be there. The rest of the police on duty may get there later.
Cars that work. I'm sorry, my grandchild is getting ready to start school in another year. If God forbid, if there's a tragedy and one of these officers, the fire department can't get there because they don't have a pollution car, that's working, they don't have the skills, they don't have what they need.
The school resource,
If you're gonna speak, people, I need you to raise your hand,
Oh,
okay?
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, continue on, but I'm just gonna tell everyone, we're gonna do it in orderly, and I have no problem with people speaking. But we're gonna do it in orderly fashion.
What bothers me is the whole debate over, not that much money to make sure that our officers are safe, everybody in the town is safe. So nobody blinks if we have this obnoxious football field that very few people are gonna use. But everybody in town is gonna benefit from a better equipped police department and a better equipped fire department.
Mr. Regan?
I think the whole timing issue, it might be a little short, but I think you need to understand that we've had a good police department here for years and years. Some people wanted some changes, some people wanted things done different, and we got a new police chief, but we didn't get him until February, right? Because the other chief hadn't retired until February, so I think it was, what was it, February you took over, Rick?
February 8th.
Okay, so that was right during the budget process. And he redesigned the department some, he got one lieutenant back here, and the other one is Adam Searoy's. And he's re-looked at the department, he's got some great new ideas, and he's very interested in school safety. And that's one of the big discussions that brought about the new guns, they got suppressors on them, so you can shoot the thing and still hear when you're in the school. And these are some new ideas that he and his department have come up with since he's been the chief. So it's the timing issue. If he'd been the chief last September, we'd had these issues thought out in the council and we brought it to you all done as a done deal. But we couldn't when he was only appointed chief in February.
And they probably.
I think he presented his budget that night.
Right,
Well,
and so he was up against the timing issue to get it done, and he come up with some great ideas. He gave us a whole list of some things he wants to see changed. And I think that people in Oakland wanted some changes with their police department, and I think we're gonna get them. But we don't need to have these changes that he's come up with, wait a year. He rushed it through, got it in, and we've had time to discuss it, and it's gonna make our children safer. So I think we need to do it and forget about, we're upset about the timing issue.
Chief?
I don't think this has to be an adversarial conversation. Everybody-
Can't hear you, Rick.
Oh, sorry. I don't think this has to be an adversarial conversation. Everybody's got their own opinion, and I respect that. Moving forward, and David talked about my plan, I want to be transparent. Matter of fact, that's, Kelly and I emailed, and I invited her to come talk to me. Anybody has any questions, anytime, come see me. I have an open door policy. Like, a lot of this stuff I could explain and avoided a lot of this, and my lieutenant as well. We always have an open door policy.
Don?
I just want to close and say, we have an excellent fire chief. We have an excellent chief of police we just hired. They're top notch. And unfortunately, this is becoming an issue where it's not them. The thing I bothers me a little bit is we have other departments who aren't as good at making grants, at making proposals. I'd love to see more money in here for road improvement. If we have to hire a new person, buy a new truck to get more road work done. I don't think he's caught up on sidewalks yet. So the people who have the best leaders are the ones who are getting most of our attention, which is important because they are the same. But there's a lot of other things that I hope will get pushed a little quicker next year.
Article 15,
I make a motion, we accept Article 15 as written.
motion made second by David, all in favor? Mike?
Article 15. I'm gonna ask you, is there any more discussion? Have we settled? Okay. All in favor? Okay. With that being said, I've got some proxy votes here. And I have 2 no's and 1 yes.
I was in that.
Oh,
I'm a no.
okay.
You also have 2 more.
All right. Skip that part.
re-raise, super
Re-raise.
high.
All in
Just like-
favor?
All in favor of Article 15?
I've got 1 yes.
Are you in?
I get 2 no's.
So 7 yeses.
Yeah.
Okay, all opposed? I have 2 no's.
Yep.
Oh, no. So what was that again, Jen?
7.
7-4?
Bill Mike? Can I make a comment?
Just remember, you just voted down. If you said no, you voted no to the whole article. Not just the police stuff.
Moving on to Article 16, please. Article 16,
I move Article 16 is written.
motion made, second by David, all in favor.
Discussion.
Question, Don?
I apologize for not being at the meeting when this came up. I was scheduled to be there, but because the date was changed to the following week, I had already made plane reservations not to get back until the day after it. So I would have loved to have been there for that because I always do take a different side. And I just wanted to explain, we had 5 requests this year. And we are honoring 4 of them with the amount of money that you see in front of you. One of the requests was from Lifeline, which requests money every year. And I just happened to get in the mail a magazine, promotional. They do a good job at that kind of thing. And in it, it shows that in Waterville, Maine, there were roughly 75 life flights originating from our hospitals in Waterville. 75 people whose life was in danger, who could only be saved by either a hospital on a van coming up from Portland or a life flight to Bangor. 75 people in Waterville. That means all of these surrounding communities. I saw one on Upper High Street, a motorcycle crash. And they had a life flight, and they landed at the church, brought them up to Bangor. My grandson had to be life flighted up to Bangor. Saved his life. Yet we will not provide money. We will provide lots of money for our local fire department, that 24-hour service to protect people. We will spend how much money on ambulances this year? $25 a person in the residence. How much is that altogether?
158,000.
$158,000 to save our people. But we won't give 1 penny to Lifeline, who have saved 75 people from this area who were in critical condition. And I just think we need to get more involved with groups that serve us, ABCAP. And I know a lot of people say we only support community efforts. I think we need to stop that thinking and be more regionally oriented. We deal with the police department, fire department, we have mutual support for all of our. So I don't think, I won't vote for this one because I think we just don't do.
In regards to Lifeline, my father got that $10,000 bill.
They all do, they've got to.
Yeah, so I
It's-
mean,
it's
it's
the law.
not like it was free.
Right, did he pay it?
Well, of course he did.
They have $25 million of unpaid bills every year.
Guess it depends on your insurance.
The insurance company pays what they can and then they'll bill you the rest. And I would have paid $10,000 for my grandson. But the insurance covered what they could and they didn't collect the rest.
Article 16, we have a motion? All right, do I have a second on it? My second for Bob, all in favor, of Article 16. Opposed? Mike?
Article 16, we're gonna discuss it or have any questions?
Well, I don't remember seeing Lifelight on here.
Lifeline was in.
It was on that.
On the original.
Oh, okay,
That
They were
we
the only ones that didn't.
chopped.
I see. Well, I tend to think that municipal government should not fund charitable organizations, but that is something that as individuals we should choose to do. And that's my point of view.
Any other questions?
It's not a question, I just want to say, I don't believe we received applications or requests from KB Path for the health.
for generations. Make one more other point. We are required to pay funds to the county that does in fact fund from town monies towards all if not most of these organizations. So it is double dipping. It's not like we are not already having to have full to support.
Anybody else? All in favor?
So you can have the other. Yes. I have 5.
Okay, 5. All opposed?
I had 6.
Yes.
Oh, you had 6?
I had 6. Redo your yes.
All in favor?
All in favor?
All in favor.
6.
6.
Okay, 6.
Thank you.
All opposed?
Mike, you got 2 hands up, why good?
Proxy.
For how many? Two proxy.
Rick McKenzie, John Sullivan.
Yeah, that's one.
65?
Thank you. That's what I wanted. Article 17, please.
I make a motion, we accept Article 17 as written.
Motion's been made. Do we have a second? Mr. Nutting, second. All in favor? Mike?
Article 17. Is there any discussion? Seeing none? All in favor? Oh,
Yes.
you good, sir?
Yeah.
Unanimous. Mike?
Article 18, please.
I make a motion, we accept Article 18 as written.
Motion's made. Do we have a second? Mr. Nutting, second. All in favor?
Article 18 for discussion. If none. No problem.
Yes.
All in favor? Sorry.
Yeah.
All opposed?
Article 19.
Make a motion, we accept Article 19 as written.
Motion's made. Do we have a second for Article 19? Second by Mr. Broder. All in favor? Thank you, Mike.
Article 19, any discussions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Your extra hand.
All opposed?
Article number 20.
Make a motion, we accept Article 20 as written.
Motion's been made. We've seconded by Mr. Nutting. All in favor?
Article 20, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Anybody opposed? Michael?
Article number 21.
Motion, we accept Article 21 as written.
Motion's been made. Seconded by Mr. Nutting. All in favor?
Article 21, any discussion? Seeing none, let's, all in favor? Anybody opposed? Michael?
Article number 22, please.
Make a motion, we accept Article 22 as written.
Motion's been made. Seconded by Mr. Nutting. All in favor? Mike?
Article 22, any discussion? All in favor? Anybody opposed?
Mike, thank you. Article number 23.
Make a motion, we accept Article 23 as written.
Motion's been made. Seconded by Mr. Nutting. All in favor? Mike?
Article 23, any discussions? Questions? All in favor?
Nobody will vote.
Oh, sorry. I was reading the next one.
Anybody opposed?
Article 24, please.
Make a motion, we accept Article 24 as written.
Motion made, seconded by Mr. Nutting, all in favor?
Article 24. Any discussion?
Can somebody just explain to people what this is? That weren't part of the budget process?
So the rec department and Boyd worked on a park grant and we're going to be doing, we've got awarded it. We received money, or we're gonna receive money from the state to redo the open boat landing, the launch. So, we're gathering quotes right now. It's not gonna be done till the fall when the water's low. The state will reimburse us 75%, but we're gonna use reserve funds not to exceed 100,000 to pay the 25%. We think it's gonna be 200,000 probably or lower. We're gonna hire a contractor to do the water in the water, and then our guys are gonna do the work outside. And Eric has 3 different rec reserve funds. We have a swim area reserve. We have maybe, I can't remember any, but he has enough in his rec park reserve stuff to do this.
Thank you. I would suggest at town meeting that there would be a good explanation given,
Sure.
so people understand.
I think Eric spoke of it that night. So.
Any more questions? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Thank you.
That will end the warrant articles. I do want to thank all of you. Great discussion. It's always nice to throw, when you get it against the wall, see what comes out. So moving on, the next item is to discuss the selection of 2023 town report dedication. I believe Kelly has an idea.
Since we lost both Barnum brothers this year into 2023, I realized Hardy passed away in 2024, so we can save for next year, but I'd like to, I think we've all discussed it, and I think doing the. Yeah, Ralph and Vaughn, yeah. So dedicating the town report to the 2 of them.
Any comments, questions, any thoughts?
I'd make a motion, we accept Kelly's recommendation of the Farnham boys for the dedication.
Motion is made, second by Mr. Grover, all in favor? Move on to the next item. This is a discussion from Boyd Snowden, this is a long-term point of entry and treatment system. Boyd, I saw you back there, thank you. Can you come up front?
Okay.
Thank you.
So, I have extra copies. I believe this was all discussed with the council a couple of years ago, or at least a year ago anyway. Basically, what happened is, when PFAS started running rampant as far as in the news and everything, the state went out and scoured all the landfills in the state, started testing for PFAS, both on their test wells and also on their residential wells in the city. Our case, most of the wells came back clean. Our wells had PFAS in it in the landfill. There was one well that, state actually installed a PFAS treatment system in because it had a level of 754 parts per trillion. The federal standard the state standard at the time was 20 parts per trillion, so obviously it was fairly high. So the state went in, put a treatment system in to take care of that for the landowner. However, state doesn't maintain it. So what they did is they installed it and then they handed it over to the town and said, this is yours to maintain, correct? Which means replacement media, potential replacement down the road if any equipment failure. They had asked us back when this all came through, when Ella and I had talked about it with them, Ella did fight this, said, this is, didn't put PFAS and stuff that people are putting in the landfill. We ended up here, so, I thought that an agreement had been signed back then when they first installed it, but I couldn't find it, and I don't think it's, we couldn't find the town file, so the state has reached back out to me 3 weeks ago and said, can you get this agreement signed so we can kind of put this one to bed, and do the rest of all the towns, so, I wasn't sure how much of that information you folks were aware of, so we definitely want to bring it up to you, because it is a cost that's gonna be here as long as somebody's in that house. In addition to that, the EPA has come out with new limits at 4 parts per trillion, which is less than what the state is right now at 20. That's going through comment right now. So the process you have to go through to get accepted, but I suspect 4 parts per trillion will be the limit. And if that is the case, they'll be reaching back out to any residential homes that have anything over 4 parts per trillion. In our case, that would add 1 more residence, that would, if they wanted, would get treatment, for the PFAS, which then the town would end up taking over the maintenance on. Pretty much tonight was just to inform you of that, because I wasn't sure how much was presented to the council back when we were going through all that. We do have to sign the agreement. I did ask DEP what happens if the town says, we're not doing anything, and, basically, it can be referred to the AG's office. They'd rather didn't go through all that, but, pretty much it was, you're gonna have to do this, or our relationship's not gonna be as good as it is right now. So, I don't know if the council needs to authorize Kelly to sign the agreement, but there is this one for sure that is on the books, and we've got one if EPA changes the standard that will come. Assuming nothing else changes with the regs and they've already told.
So the agreement is to sign off on that.
The agreement is,
Take responsibility.
right, the agreement is actually between us and the landowner that we will be responsible for any maintenance. I did put in state standards, a standard contract. I added a lot of language, protective language from the town, but basically you can't just go out and spend the money and then come with a bill to the town to say, okay, we have to have a say in what the work is being done, or at least agree to it. So I added some things in like that, and we had to protect things from that. So, and I'll send this off and say, yeah, this will be an agreement between the landowner and this particular residence.
Mr. Rosado,
Do you have an idea what the state paid for this system for this particular individual?
It was almost $10,000.
Drilling a new well someplace to help, not.
I mean, well, I mean, generally what they'll do is they'll look at drilling a new well first, DEP well. It's a crapshoot if you get the same fracture or a fracture that's still coming from, a landfill or something, you're still gonna have a contaminant. So at some point, they just need to make a decision based on the size of the lot. It's 200-acre parcel, maybe they try to drill another well, but this is a 1-acre parcel, and that's what it's 7.
Jeremy, you had a question?
Yeah, do we know what the estimated yearly cost of maintenance would be?
I do, actually. So, basically, the media lasts, assuming all being equal for the, for flow, and assuming the PFAS are gonna go up, as the treatment system going through, should last about 2 to 3 years. Current cost to replace the media is around $1,500.
That's supposed to be like a filter kind of thing?
It is, it's a filter, so they basically take the media out, they dispose of it, and then they put new media in, and then you're off and running for another couple of years. Again, assuming there's not a leaky toilet or something like that, that burns it up faster.
So on average, like $750 a year.
Yeah, I mean, it actually, probably 500 more on years. And then, if they have, the water, there is a water softener, pre-treatment water softener, for sulfur treatment as well. Those should last about 10 years, and that's $1,000 for the media. So, not a huge lot of money, but it is, it's gonna accumulate if we end up doing more and more of these.
Does that factor in the disposal of the media?
Yes. We're not for that, but
So
I make a motion, we authorize the town manager to enter into this agreement for the town.
Motion's been made. Do I have a second? They need to go past legal first.
I prefer to see the agreement first.
It's in your packet.
Yeah, back it.
So my packet is. So I'd like to review the document, which I don't have, not now, but sometime prior to the next meeting. And then I think probably we'd be wise to have our town attorney look at it before we sign an agreement in perpetuity.
Should like to table this.
I move that we table this item until the next.
Motion being made to table, all in favor of tabling? You're all set with that? The last item on the agenda, other business, is discussing the misinformation of posting on social media sites about town businesses, and I believe Ms. Porter.
Yes, I'm the one that has to put on the agenda. The other day when I was having my election, polling hours were from 7 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. We were going along and all of a sudden I get a notice that somebody has posted that our polling hours are from 7 to 9 at night. I would rather, if somebody wants to post what our election hours are, anything about them, that they repost what we post. It's against the law to be open any later than 8 o'clock. That has to be the whole state. The whole state is mandated that they close at 8. So it did upset me because I thought it had been posted for 18 hours. And I thought, if other clerks are seeing that I'm not closing until 9, or even the Secretary of State sees that I'm announced somewhere that I'm closing at 9, it didn't set well. So I guess in the future, if it's something that you want to post, perfect. We'd love for you to share. However, I want the information checked first. And I realize that anybody can post whatever they want, I get it, but not when it's not right. Legally, it's not right. So that's my point.
Thank you. Any other business, any action required on that? Anything else covered?
Yes, Dave Cochran, would like us to accept a $300 gift card to Harbor Freight, for the purchase of tools, equipment, and safety gear. He was awarded that, and then, so 300 for that, and then the firefighters, Oakland Firefighters Association will be donating, $4,531.87 to the town to purchase, a stair chair for the fire department. And then they've also been awarded a pallet of water cooling springs, so just accept all of that.
Then we authorize them to accept these donations.
Motion made second by Mr. Nutting, all in favor? And
Apparently
abstain. Yes, thank you. Mr. Mormon, do you have any more business?
Just a question that Bob might be able to answer, came up as we were going through selling property. Is there any action on the proposition that when you sell property, that you must get the proceeds to the previous owner?
That is, since the Supreme Court ruled that you can't take all the money, that what most municipalities in Maine who were doing it have stopped doing it. I don't know that it's a state law. You know,
I
so
don't think it's been passed yet, but it's not, you don't have to use all the proceeds back, it's, anything over and above what's owed to the municipality.
Our tax.
Which changes, not changes the wording of what we have, it's changed the practice of what we've done. So if we sell property and they owe 5,000, we get 5,000 and they get the rest.
Moving, if it passes, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of, it's more complicated than the only.
If it passes, so if it.
There are rules that, I'll check. I don't know. if the
I know there was a
state-
lot of discussion, I just didn't know if it.
The towns that were taking properties and keeping it all, have stopped doing that. Or I hope it's stopped. Can't do that anymore.
Anything else? Mr. Groda? I'm all set. Mr. Nutting?
I'm good.
Mr. Bolsa? Mr. Groda?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to remain second.
Thank you.
Good night, folks, and thank you.
All right.